Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia. Episode 15.
Of Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
we're getting into it.
The title for this one...
Midoriya and Shigaraki.
So, that means we're probably going to be getting a lot of Todoroki and a lot of Bakugo.
But yeah, the mirroring of these two characters having essentially a little bit of training to spur on their growth, is good. But if they really just have this be that episode where they go into it in depth, oh boy, that could be good.
They've had some similarities with Airbender, you know, and one of the best similarities or things that Airbender did was in the storm, likening Zuko to Aang.
Yeah.
So if they do that with someone even more like just a bad guy than Zuko, that would be very cool.
Oh, he's bad guy.
Yeah.
But the aspect that I would like to see with Shigaraki and Deku being brought together is this wild card now into the mix, which is Stain.
Yes.
And Stain essentially looking like he's about to fight Kurogiri and Shigaraki is really odd because
he uses swords. Like
how is he gonna fight portals?
Well, and also even if he was just fighting Shigaraki, if
just
say Kurogiri wasn't able to fight him, he'd either break his swords or he'd be slicing open Shigaraki.
I'm really curious to see how that goes. But if Stain gets involved with Deku's story, I would like to see, which it almost has to happen. But I mean, the aspect of having them basically end up spurring each other on would be even better, because I could see him seeing Deku as actually being a good hero, like a true hero.
Yes, right.
And maybe they could actually have a conversation. And Deku's still a kid, so he's kind of naive, but maybe even his naivete would influence Stain to some extent, but it'd be more of Stain influence.
Yeah, because
Deku, of course.
But I could totally see that happening, because Stain's biggest problem with the hero world is that he sees it as being corrupt, right?
Right.
And one of the general ideas about people, the younger they are, is that they're innocent, right? They haven't been exposed to all that stuff
at least.
Right, exactly. So that could be
that
something
could influence
that is a plus for
really cool
for Deku.
Yeah, but Midoriya and Shigaraki. Let's get into it.
Oh
my god. Oh, that's cool.
That's great. All according to Kaikaku.
Whoa. Full cowling.
Oh.
Wow, he's just really fast.
3分。これまだまだだ。いや、分析と予測から今日使うという判断。普段からいろいろ考えるタイプだな、小僧。昨日と今日、たった1回の思考で前とは劇的に変わった。
Oh, nice.
久々に本気で避けたつに。こいつは化ける。よし、あとは慣れろ。ガンガン行くぞ。はい。
Yep.
お願いします。
ヒーローとは救いを求める人々に安心を与えなければならない。能力はもちろんのこと、容姿、言葉遣い、
Oh my gosh.
He's
giving him a makeover.
Yes.
Yes! Oh my god!
That is amazing.
I love it. Oh my. Wow.
USJ を襲撃した奴らの中に君が撃退したノームと呼ばれるヴィランがいた。そのノームの DNA を検査してみたんだ。
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
専門施設でノームを調べさせて分かったことなんだが、奴は口が聞けないとかじゃない。何をしても無反応。文字通り思考停止状態。
Oh, wow.
奴の素性だが、障害恐喝の前科持ち。ただのチンピラであることが分かった。
それが黒幕への。
So he's been augmented.
Right.
よく聞いてくれ。報告によると、このチンピラの体には
Whoa, crap.
Whoa.
4つ以上混在している。
4つ以上の DNA が。
The scientist guy, we were
Yeah.
theorizing this with the bad guy.
Now, if he doesn't act without orders, does that mean that they even have him contained there?
Maybe.
複数の個性に見合う体に調整された改造。
Yeah, that part too.
Mhm.
DNA を取り入れたって。
Oh, rules.
で
Okay.
もない限り、個性の複数持ちなんてことになりはし。
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, especially if you're dealing with someone that's already alive, not growing them in a petri dish.
個性を与える個性を持つ者が。
Oh, crap.
Mhm.
再び動き出した。
Oh. Yo, dude.
貴様らの一団に俺も。
Oh, Stain. Here we go.
ないもの。
Oh, no way. He beat them already?
当然だ。だからこうなる。
Or
Holy
maybe
crap.
maybe it was just Shigaraki.
強すぎだろ。黒霧、こいつ返せ。
体が。
Oh my
What?
gosh.
おそらくヒーロー殺し。
He's immobilized.
ヒーローが本来の意味を失い、偽物がはびこるこの社
He
会。
can, like, paralyze people he cuts, maybe?
Yeah.
犯罪者も
That is insane.
複製対象だ。
ちょっと待て待て。
Oh. No, he can move.
殺すぞ。
Oh.
口数が多いな。信念な行々しいもんないね。
それがお前か。
は？
お前と俺の目的は対極にあるよ。
Yeah, completely.
Mhm.
だが今を壊す。この一点において俺たちは
Oh,
共
interesting.
通してる。
I was not expecting that.
帰る死ね。
Oh.
最も嫌悪する人種なんだろ。
真意を試した。視線を前にして人は本質。
Oh, good point. So he gets to learn about heroes when they're about to die.
Sure.
いびつな信念の目がお前には宿っている。お前がどう芽吹いていくのか。
How will you, bud?
さあ、俺をホスへ戻せ。あそこにはまだなすべきことが残っている。
Oh yeah, villains can't come out because we're on alert. Watch what happens in the next, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
奴はこの街に再び現れる可能性が高い。
Oh boy.
来い。
Oh, Iida. Oh my.
これくらいにしとくか。これ以上俺の戦法でやると変な癖がつくかもな。
Ah, that's a good point.
まだまだ慣れが足りないです。お願いします。
いや十分だ。いざヴィラン退治だ。
What?
Okay.
Just go find the villains.
戦ってると全く違うタイプへの対応で。
That's true.
外しを横切る。
Oh, convenient.
気になるな。
Oh boy.
後で連絡してみよう。
ねえ、聞きにくいんだけどさ。
He's gonna talk to him about
ヒー
it.
ロー殺しを
Yeah.
やってるんだ。ただ、支援で動くのはやめた方がいいよ。
That's right.
我々ヒーローに逮捕や刑罰を行使する権限はない。もし私利私欲のために個性を使えば、
His
それ
voice
は
getting
とて
lower
も
and
重い罪
lower.
となる。
Mhm.
Not gonna listen to
し
it.
か
Yeah.
し、
Yeah.
この気持ちをどうしたらいい？
Oh. Iida's always been good, fraught
Mhm.
with positive feelings. He doesn't know what to do with negative feelings.
Sure.
His tongue's hanging
ホ
out.
ス市って思いのほか栄えてるな。で、あんたは何をする？
この街を正す。そ
Okay.
れにはまだ犠牲がいる。
ヒーローとは偉業を成した者のみ許される称号多すぎるんだよ。英雄気取りの背筋主義者がこの世が自ら誤りに気づくまで俺は現れ続ける。
Wow.
実今までにステインが現れた町は
Oh, here we go.
犯罪率が低下している。
Wow.
ある評論家がヒーローたちの意識向上につながっていると分析し、バッシングも受けたことがあります。
It's irritating Shigaraki even more.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an interesting thought.
It's too roundabout.
合わないんだよ根本的に。黒切れ、ノーム出せ。
Plural?
Are you?
俺に歯突き立てて。
Oh crap. Of course there's multiples.
Right. Well, at least there's only 3.
Only 3?
Well,
oh my gosh. Oh! Yeah. Holy crap. Whoa! Oh,
you gotta help him,
getting hyped.
Oh boy. Here we go. And now, do you think Stain will intervene? And if so,
yeah, Stain might use this confusion, but
oh no!
No way!
No way!
No way!
No! Are you kidding?
Oh jeez! Yeah, it's some kind of paralysis thing. Oh jeez. It's based on their last words. Oh! Oh! Okay, armor. Yeah. Armor. He's okay, he's okay. Wow. He hasn't fought a child yet. He's been fighting like adults. Yeah.
Come on!
Oh. He understood it immediately. Whoa. Whoa, 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 come on. Oh.
インゲニウム、お前を倒すヒーローの名だ。そうか。死ね。
Okay. Okay. All right.
So,
I was expecting way more training, but no. Here we go.
I was too, but
here we go. The training will have to wait.
Okay.
Stain's making a move. Shigaraki's making a move. This guy that All Might apparently knows is making a move. This is tying in with our theory of potentially it being someone that is connected to, you know, his predecessor or is a predecessor.
Oh boy. But okay.
No, there's so much this episode. Oh my gosh.
They ended it with Stain having a sword pointed at Iida's throat and saying, "Die." Now, I hope they don't kill Iida. If they did, that would be ridiculous. But I hope they don't backtrack, basically, in the next episode. Because they have it at a really good point here, even though we hate that Iida's in danger like this.
Mm-hmm. This is where the story can get really good.
This is where the story can get really good. Mm-hmm. So, even if they don't kill Iida, because, you know, I don't necessarily want them to kill Iida.
Right. He's my favorite character, by the way, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And if he's not mine, he's definitely way up there.
Yeah.
But they just need to handle this really well. Yeah.
So, with Hero Killer Stain essentially having a rule, it seems like he doesn't necessarily kill people that just have conflicting views with him. They need to show some elements, some little semblance, if you will, of what he holds to with his ideals.
Sure.
Iida right now might have completely thrown away his chance for survival by doing this out of vengeance.
Yeah.
I am hoping, though, that since his power is some kind of paralysis-based cutting whatever, he will paralyze Iida and try to like talk him out of it.
Yeah, okay. That could be a thing that happens.
Here's my thought, is that Iida poses no threat to him.
No.
At all. The armor maybe just will stop some of the cuts from happening.
Right, which could be a big deal.
Which could actually be a very big deal, yeah. But what we need right now is Deku to basically come and save Iida, like, ASAP.
Right.
Like, because Deku and Iida are on that convergence course, very obviously put by the train going through hell, so he sees the Nomus and everything.
Now,
but that needs to happen, otherwise Iida should die. But the story can make it so that he's saved in the nick of time.
Right. Now, here's a way they could do it. So, it was all the screen was dark when Stain said die. He could have been talking about the other hero that he had pinned to the wall because he hadn't killed him yet.
Yeah, not really. I don't think so.
I mean, he could.
It's dramatic tension building, yes, and it could be used as misdirection. It would just be kind of lame for them to basically...
Yeah, because it would be backtracking on, what they built up to.
Yeah. Which is what you said you don't want to do.
Now, Stain also said, I'll take care of the idiots or whatever after this. Or like, I think he was talking about the Nomus.
No, I think he didn't say I'll take care of the idiots. I think he said the idiots have come out. Basically saying the Nomus, Shigaraki, and all them, they're out there doing stuff. Kind of like he's frustrated.
Right, but didn't he say something like, I'll take care of them, but after I, wrap up what I came here to do or something?
Maybe. That would be cool.
If he was saying that he could take 3 Nomus...
If he can just paralyze something with, like, a cut...
That's
insanely strong, because all he has to do is nick them.
Right. Although, I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is, because it seemed to stop Kurogiri, but it didn't stop Shigaraki.
Well, it didn't stop Shigaraki, but we don't know necessarily, like, why Shigaraki started to move and when he did start to move, and... One of the things that I'm liking about this quirk system is that there's all kinds of limits that they put onto it.
Yes. So
Stain obviously has some limits.
Right. So it could be something where, like, maybe he can only have one target be paralyzed at a time. Or there's a time limit.
I would say that actually it's probably a combination of those two. That he can paralyze one person for, like, a minute. But if he needs to paralyze 2 people, it goes for only 30 seconds.
Right.
Something like that. To where... he's better in a one-on-one fight. That's why he goes and hunts heroes.
Right.
He doesn't go and openly, like, try to fight a bunch of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he was able to immobilize someone like Kurogiri, because Kurogiri has parts of his body that don't seem to be physical. So
why does he lick the blood then?
Okay.
Like, why does he do anything with the blood? That's just scary stuff. That's basically
that might just be scary
That's
stuff.
just basically him trying to be intimidating and cool and stuff.
Like, why does he have his tongue hanging out all the time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Nomus. An enemy of All Might. Some kind of scientist DNA crazy stuff. What is going on here?
And Gran Torino, if Deku goes to rescue Iida, does that mean Gran Torino is going to have to fight all 3 Nomus, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri by himself?
No. I think that the Nomus will end up being fought by people who are either like regular heroes.
Okay.
Or I don't know. Because I don't see these Nomus actually as being as strong.
Right.
Because they seemed like the one that...
They seemed smaller.
They seemed smaller, and the one that hit the train, it seemed strong, but it seemed to be I don't know, like not as strong to where it's like crushing Aizawa and, you know.
Right, exactly. Because if you think about it, if they had multiple Nomus, why didn't they send all of them with Shigaraki and Kurogiri to take out All Might?
I think they're currently making Nomus,
right, and they're making them better and better, which is why maybe that particular one was the one they sent, because
or they're just making them faster.
Sure, or making like one of them so it can fly and things like that.
Or specific types of Nomus.
Sure,
so if they can choose what quirks go into these Nomus,
that's true.
Then certain quirks are better at fighting All Might, and other, you know, Nomus could basically just, you know, have a Bakugo quirk where they just blow up buildings and they're just a tank buster. Oh.
What if there's a Nomu that was invisible?
Never, ever, 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 ever let Invisible Girl get caught by the villains. Not like she ever would, but my theory, Jacob, is that they're actually taking quirks from people. Like they've identified where the quirk is in the human body, and that multiple DNA thing is basically heroes that they've tried to shove into a regular person.
I'm glad, though, that the cop brought up a good point. Even if you could somehow like extract the DNA of a person with the power in the DNA of them that specifically has the power,
multiple quirks.
You shouldn't be able to give them multiple quirks. And also, one of the problems is that in the human body, each individual cell has the entire copy of the entire person's DNA. Right. So changing somebody that already is alive is a lot harder than simply like growing something. Because then, you know, each cell will copy itself the same way. So
I think this is actually a hint at what the bad guy's quirk is. That he can essentially manipulate DNA, matter, quirks, or something like that. And it's some combination of the two. Maybe with the scientist. Maybe the scientist is the one that does the grafting.
Understands like what needs to be done, and then he's the one that actually does it. He's some sort of like Dr. Manhattan.
Well, that would be cool, because I want the villain to be really intelligent. And I think it would be cool to have him just be a really twisted scientist that maybe was like a previous holder of One for All. Like, and maybe he's just like like he saw, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe, like, I get the feeling that someone who's got this kind of type of a story might be a little bit simplified in that they are putting out vengeance against All Might and stuff. But the fact that he's trying to groom potentially a Shigaraki type character, it makes me feel like he wants to, in some way, pass something on to Shigaraki. That will be that he needs to prove himself to be worthy of, like All Might's passing on One for All. And one of the things that makes me think of this is the idea that if he can, with the scientist, create these Nomus, what if the idea is that they're trying to avoid the Nomu problem, to where they're just dumb beasts, and basically make a Siler, like create someone that can hold multiple quirks, have all of that power, and not go dumb, and actually be someone that would be like a god on this world or something. And he's passing it on maybe to Shigaraki, because maybe like All Might, he doesn't have long for this world or something like that.
I could see that.
Like that would be a way that they could actually transition villains later in the future. As they have this guy, he's like, he's a big villain, but it's actually more of like he's creating villains. Like he's the villain that makes more viillans. You know?
Gift that keeps on giving. Now, so they're setting up this whole big crazy fight thing. It's gonna go down.
It's gonna be crazy.
Do you think Gran Torino's gonna die?
No. No. So I think that Gran Torino has a little bit of plot armor because he has some exposition he needs to give.
Yes, that's true. He was introduced too recently to suddenly kill off.
But he also has exposition in that he knows things about All Might's past that are important. I think Gran Torino is a character that will potentially die just because he's old. Not because he's Cork or anything like that, or because he's not even that he's in danger here right now, or that he's a mentor. I think that if we see people that are of the older nature in this show, there is a real potential for them to die. I think this is the show that puts really big plot armor on the kids, though. So
because it is that whole passing off the torch
kind of thing. So Gran Torino could die here. but I feel like he's the type of character that, one, he could just avoid Stain. If Stain is a melee person, yeah, Gran Torino's not going to get fretted by him. But if Gran Torino fights some of the Nomus, he might not be effective enough, and he might have to call in All Might.
Right. Well, okay, and here's another question. So, if this is clearly, like, as soon as they show up, it's a big deal, right? Building exploded or whatever. How that happened, who knows?
Right.
So do you think we'll get any of the other characters coming in to help that are, like, nearby?
Yes. Yes, that would be cool to show more pro heroes. Like, maybe some of the kids join.
Because, okay,
I hope
someone like Todoroki or Bakugo would be very helpful here, but I almost think they shouldn't show up, because then they might end up stealing the spotlight from Iida and Deku.
Maybe not. I could see them tying it into where someone else's internship is really close, so they come over here as well. And the pro hero that they're associated with would come as well. Right. And that would provide an element so we could see the pro hero. I think Bakugo coming would be kind of fun, but I don't know location-wise where everyone is.
Right.
But the best Genus guy, I love the idea of him being the 4th strongest hero ever, like, out there. And he has a clothing power. It must be way, like, not nearly as obvious as I'm letting it on. Like,
but it does look to be along the lines of tentacle powers, and we know how powerful tentacle powers are.
It's true.
They are OP whenever they show up.
Every single time.
Yeah.
I can't think of any, like, people that would obviously show up here. Manuel's gonna fight, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
I would some kind of water powers with his fins on him or something.
The reunion of, like, maybe Shigaraki and Deku, like, that could be really good, but the one that I'm actually most looking forward to is Kurogiri with any of the other people from USJ. So if Uraraka and or Bakugo showed up, he'd just be like, "You guys, what are you doing here?"
Kurogiri's just like, "Nope," and he just portals up to the top of a really tall building. He's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay up here. I don't."
And then Uraraka just, like, touches Bakugo, and then he starts flying up after him. That would be awesome.
That would be sweet.
That'd be amazing.
I feel like All Might will get called in here eventually.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, "We can't handle this," and they have, like, an All Might beacon that, like if enough heroes press it, like, it will call in a tactical nuke, basically.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, All Might's like, "Oh, it's time to go."
Yep.
And he
gets in a rocket.
No, he just jumps.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, they were going on the bullet train, so, like, how far away do you think they might be?
True.
Like,
that's a good point.
I don't know.
So maybe it will be just specific people that are nearby.
Yeah.
And if this is a place that hasn't had high crime rates, in particular,
this could be a situation where the bad guys win.
The bad guys could win. Yeah. There would be it would be really tough to pull off, but you could have basically Iida end up getting paralyzed, wounded.
Sure.
Not, like, paralyzed, like, forever, but whatever with his quirk.
Right.
Stain's quirk is, and they have to run away from Stain.
And if you think about it, okay, in this battle, the 3 main characters that we have introduced that are present and accounted for.
Iida, Gran Torino,
and Deku. Those all have speed.
All have speed. Yeah, that's a good point.
So if they needed to run away, they could. I mean, Kurogiri can teleport, but... Yeah.
They'd have to abandon the poor hero native there.
I get the feeling he's already dead.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
He's not going to survive. Let's just say. Like,
this show has not killed anyone on screen yet. I just want to point that out.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I've been keeping track. Like, it's one of those things where once
That's
a
right.
superhero show that kind of has a younger kids element to it. I know MHA isn't a young kids show necessarily, but it is kind of hopeful and cheery. And
right. So maybe this is The Empire Strikes Back, where that all needs to change and, like,
I think that would be good, but if I'm predicting based on probability, I don't think
it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
One of the things that they kind of set it up for is that Stain doesn't have to kill anyone. He doesn't feel like he has to kill someone unless they're...
Yep.
Like, he basically tests them by listening to their last words and all those other things. He repeated that to Iida. He's like, if you're coming here for vengeance, you might want to choose better last words, essentially. And he's like, no, I'm going to... gonna stop you. Ingenium is my name. And he's like, all right then.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah. And granted, Iida did phrase that very well. He wasn't saying, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to get, this is from, like, you hurt my brother. Like, I mean, he did say you hurt my brother.
He did say that. He said, I'm going to stop you.
But he said, I'm going to stop you on behalf of my brother.
Right.
Which, like, even though Iida is very much out for revenge, the way he said it was, like, if it didn't have that revenge emotion behind it, that would actually be a very honorable thing to say.
I guess, but I don't think that would still fit within Stain's ideology.
No?
No, because it's essentially, violence for violence. People should... I think this is maybe where Stain actually has a flaw. He's arrogant enough to think that he is right by doing this. So anyone else that comes against him is wrong.
Well, okay, whoa. There's a difference. I mean, I like that. I really like that. And I think he does think that he is right in doing this.
Right.
But I don't think that he so believes that he's righteous in what he's doing that anyone who tries to do anything against him is wrong and should not even try to stop him.
See, that's where I agree and disagree. I think he set this up that All Might is the only one he will respect to try and stop him.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But anyone else, they better be like All Might 2.0, otherwise he's not going to stop him. Which is why I think Deku is literally the only one who can stop him from killing Iida here.
Sure. Okay.
Because I think he will try to kill Iida, but it's literally going to be Deku saving him at the last minute.
Now, here's something to think about, though. Especially when you have someone with, like, the title of hero killer, right?
Oh, right.
And they've just been introduced, and you want to make sure that everyone knows they're a badass. They did a great job of building that up by having him attack Ingenium, right? And there was this idea that if he had wanted to kill Ingenium, he would have, right?
Right.
Ingenium is alive because he let him live. He did a paralyzing blow instead of a lethal blow or whatever, right? But if they make it so that Stain actively tries to kill Iida and fails, that will reduce his cool points.
It will reduce his cool points, yeah.
If anything, they'll at least do it where he's like, okay, fine, I'll give you, like, I'll at least, give you an honorable duel or something like that. I don't know. Like,
I just don't think that's...
I don't think that's his style. Yeah,
I think he could kill a character, but I just don't think they'll do it on screen.
Because they
seem to want to avoid, like, really graphic violence.
Right. If they did have him kill Iida, though, like, okay, I would hate that. We would both hate that.
He can't. Like, guys, I would shut down. Like, I would just...
But
they killed Iida.
But think about it.
What?
That kind of stuff where it just shuts you down and you just go into a black hole depression for, 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 3 months. That's, like...
This is not Game of Thrones.
I know. But if they did want to do that, do that,
please don't.
I would be very much surprised and upset, absolutely. But at the same time, I'd be like, wow, okay, because then no one would be safe. If Iida's not safe, no one except for maybe Deku.
Yeah. I really wonder, like, what are the laws in kind of animation things about killing kids in the superhero kind of theme? Like,
right.
There's almost kind of, the thing, you don't kill dogs in Hollywood movies and stuff, or you don't show it.
Right.
It's like the taboo.
Yeah, you had to specify Hollywood.
I know. Because of recently.
Yeah.
But with this, I feel like with superhero shows in general, killing kids, the villains killing kids, is very hard to pull off and not completely, like, alienate some audiences.
Now,
so I wonder if maybe you're right, Native is going to die.
Yes.
But they won't kill off Iida kind of because of that rule. And also, I don't want to bring this up, but I have to. This is a shonen.
It is.
And shonens have huge amounts of plot armor around main character kids.
Right, because, yeah.
Unless it's a show that kind of directly is made to, subvert that trope.
Yeah.
like that's the main pull of the show,
right,
then they usually follow this rule. And this isn't a show that directly subverts the people die when they are killed kind of thing.
I'm just going to say, though, there is another show that we both know and love. I'm not going to say what it is, spoilers for people, where they kill off people that are technically kids.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And, because, they can fight on the level of adults, so then they treat them like adults, and then they, maybe end up dying like adults.
Yeah.
So, I don't think Iida's gonna die.
Yeah.
But they could kill him if they wanted to.
I don't think it's built up that way, but I am more biased than I let on. I really just don't.
How could we not be biased? I mean, come on.
No, I'm letting my bias overshadow my analytical thought process. I'm just trying to think of any way way he can't die.
Yeah, because that would suck.
Yeah. I think that this show is ramping up, though, the Shigaraki side of things. Though.
Yes.
And that is good, because for some reason they had Stain essentially monologue about Shigaraki as if he was the side character kind of being wowed by the protagonist's kind of potential. And that trope I recognized, and I was like, oh...
Yeah.
Stain is a side character to Shigaraki's kind of villain protagonist.
Yeah,
kind of
that was a really clever way to set up the mirror with Shigaraki and Deku, because they're basically saying Shigaraki is kind of a main character in his own way.
He is the villain's main character.
Right, he is the villain main's character. Yeah, they basically just said that.
They said that there. But by doing that and Stain acknowledging it, it's basically reaffirming my theory that Stain is not going to be a huge character. He's going to be an important character, but he's not going to be a main character.
And it's reinforcing the idea that Shigaraki is going to stick around for quite a while.
Yeah, I would like Stain to not die. Please let Stain
have
live.
him not die.
As long as he just either gets away or gets captured but isn't killed, awesome.
Yeah.
The problem, though, is I don't know how this society deals with mass murderers.
Yeah. That's true.
By all accounts, mass murderers usually get
the electric chair.
No, they either get sentenced to life, or they get executed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, okay,
but this might be the type of show that just doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I might have mentioned this in another video, and it's probably not going to happen. But what if there was a character, I don't know who it would be or something, but Stain just kind of reminds me of the Hound. A part of him just kind of reminds me of the Hound.
Okay.
And if they did that, and they had him survive, what if there was a point where him and another character were basically going around together, and that was the way they kept Stain.
That sounds like the Joker and Harley Quinn, basically.
Sure, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that much about comics and stuff, but that could be a way that they basically keep Stain in the story without him breaking the plot. Because they've built him up so much that they can't have him be around all these important events, otherwise he kind of steals the spotlight.
Yeah, I think his introduction to the story is more about his message than his character himself.
Right.
That's why we haven't gotten a random backstory yet.
Yes.
Which we might, though, in the next 2 episodes.
Potentially, yeah.
We probably could. I want to keep harping on what we learned about this nemesis of All Might's.
Yeah.
The fact that they're All Might's nemesis, and All Might knows they're alive, but it's like they've started moving again. It's like...
That basically means that they're probably the person that wounded him, right?
No. Because I always thought that the whole toxic chainsaw thing was pretty BS.
Well, no. They actually... someone clarified this in the comments. They were saying that Deku was like, oh, that was around the time when you fought Toxic Chainsaw? And he's like, you're well informed, but no, that punk couldn't have hurt me.
No, this fight was that secret. Punk couldn't have beat me. Just because they say that, Jacob, yeah.
Okay.
Well, to an extent, I can see how maybe that person in the comments is trying to lead you. And you maybe noticed it, or maybe you didn't.
Okay.
But that seems like a leading comment. That's someone who's trying to give you as much information as they can without actually spoiling.
Okay, well, that was what I remember from the... What was it? The first episode or the second episode?
I don't know.
And I saw that more as a confirmation. But so assuming that I'm right about that it wasn't Toxic Chainsaw, because
we know
that
it
would just
wasn't
be
Toxic
stupid.
Chainsaw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I already knew that.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's the issue that with All Might, he's so like overwhelmingly powerful, right? How could he actually really have a nemesis? It would either have to be someone that's behind the scenes.
Or, I think that's all it is.
Okay. Sure.
Or what?
Well, I was going to say either behind the scenes, someone that he can't bring himself to stop because he has some close connection with them.
Sure.
Or it's someone that is on par with him strength-wise. And if there was something like that, that could have been the person that wounded him, and that basically he went to stop them, but he actually wasn't able to stop them.
I think it might be a thing of where he stopped them.
Okay.
At one point.
At a great cost, At
a great cost, maybe the wound. And I don't think it's necessarily that he got the wound from a specific villain in particular. It's that he was fighting, and that was just a result of one of the things that happened during their fight.
Okay.
Because I get more and more the idea that there's some kind of organization going on in the background, and just this guy is kind of the head honcho of the whole thing.
Sure. Okay.
But All Might saying that they're moving again kind of has the idea of kind of Gandalf thinking of Sauron is on the move.
Yeah.
It's basically an overlord, big evil, who is basically like awakened. And when I think of how All Might would have had to stop this this villain prior, is they would have had to use some kind of way that wouldn't kill him so that All Might knows he's still alive.
Right.
Maybe done some way to break them psychologically to where they are actually unwilling to go on any further, and All Might basically lets them go out of pity.
Okay.
Or they're already captured, and here's the crazy thought. They're actually like manipulating the whole thing that they can do from within their
from within their cell.
From within their cell. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. One of the other possibilities is that if they just had somebody that could hide them, like Kurogiri, just boom, teleport away.
Oh yeah,
and suddenly you
we
can't
already
find
have
them.
Kurogiri to do
Exactly.
My thought is that actually what the thing was is that recently Kurogiri found him in his cell or what have you, portaled him out.
Okay.
And now they think he's still in there, but he's not.
Okay.
Like, if you have a problem that big, you bury it 100 feet underground and you kind of forget about it.
Sure.
That's kind of this trope of this whole thing. But if you forget about it, how do you go in and check back every once in a while to make sure he's still there?
That's why you make sure to cut the head off, put it on a stake, keep it in a glass box, and keep it on your nightstand so that, you can always tell.
There's no way the villain can come back. Yeah. But if this is the case, then All Might will probably go to the people that know about this bad guy and be
All
like...
Might could go on in an investigation.
That would be really cool. And he could go in and look into, say, like, okay, is this person making their moves? And like, no, of course not. You haven't fought this person for, 20 years or so. And it's like, no.
Let me see their
This is
their
the examples
cell.
of their, presence. And then, he's gone,
Yeah.
He's moving again. And
someone dropped a feather into his cage.
Well, the idea is that... Yeah, Tai Lung, that's a good reference. That all the pro heroes could assemble and basically say, okay, now we need to stop this. Let's take this seriously.
Okay.
Because Nomus, multiple, have attacked Hosu City.
And we can't let him make more at the very least.
Right. The one problem I could see with this whole thing is that if this person is individually strong and All Might feels threatened by them, it might actually be that this person could never beat All Might at his prime. It's that now that All Might is weak, he's starting to move again. Kind of why he sent Shigaraki to assassinate him with a Nomu specifically designed to kill All Might. He's like, that person told me that he was weak, but he lied.
Sure.
He's not weak.
Yeah, okay.
All Might's still strong.
All right.
So this person knows about One for All.
Yeah.
That's maybe a big hint, is that this is someone that at the very least might be connected to a predecessor or actually be a predecessor.
Right. That would explain why they would know how weak or strong All Might is.
Works and stuff.
Yeah.
But that means they almost exactly know that Deku has One for All. Doesn't it?
Yeah, that's probably true. Or at the very least that it's been passed on again.
They know that it's been passed on again, and they're probably looking for the person. But when Shigaraki was like, there was this one kid who, hit me as hard as All Might or something.
Yeah.
And the guy in the speaker was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, oh, tell me, like kind of a tell me more.
Yeah.
Now Shigaraki carries his photo around. He knows.
Yes.
He knows. Yeah. I think, if anything, Shigaraki might not know how All Might's power works because the big bad doesn't trust him with knowing that knowledge.
Yeah.
But he's saying, like, this is All Might's disciple, his apprentice.
Right.
Yeah, his Padawan learner.
I almost
go kill him.
I almost see Shigaraki as like the Azula. And then there's this Fire Lord looming in the background that we don't see the face of, right?
Yeah.
And the Fire Lord is always worried that his protege may end up turning against him.
Right. He keeps him at a distance.
Right.
And he doesn't need to be there really because he's got Kuragiri.
Exactly.
Could make him be there if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Though he has to be strong enough to actually combat Shigaraki. Then that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So, however strong Shigaraki is, this guy is at least a little bit stronger.
Right. Probably more like twice as strong.
Right.
Or as like a top end, maybe.
But then that puts him around the level of a really good Nomu.
Well, but there's also the idea that they've been doing where certain people are better against certain quirks and stuff like that.
If he
which
has
I'm so happy they're doing.
Yeah, if he has some kind of non-combat quirk that's really high intelligence, really gives him the power to manipulate matter in a specific way. With some limits, of course.
Then Shigaraki would be toast against him. Doesn't really matter what he tries to do.
Potentially, but it would be a thing where anyone with a gun could just come up and kill this guy. So he doesn't want to be seen by the public. Or like that.
Yeah.
This kind of also reminds me a little bit of Father from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Just like we were thinking, is someone who's gathering all the homunculus, moving all the pieces like a chessboard around.
Yeah.
Is someone that's a nemesis of one of the protagonists. Hohenheim.
Yep.
And that whole thing. So this could really go into some cool places.
Oh yeah.
But Dark Iida, man. Dark Iida. It hurts. It hurts so good. Wow. Oh, please don't kill him. Please don't kill him.
Watch, they'll kill him like his Deku watches.
Wow. Okay, guys. Yeah, this was something. We're kind of hurting internally, but if you want to see the next episode, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access and maybe also our Discord, and you can chat with us about anime and MHA and all that. And we'd love to see you there. But until next time, Resemblance to Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.